This is not an ordinary Monday. There are days in life that pass like dust in the wind, and there are days that crack the ground beneath your feet, quietly, powerfully. This is one of those days, not because something loud will happen, but because something deep already is. In the ancient Shaolin tradition, we are taught change is not the enemy, it is the messenger. Right now, many feel unsettled, restless, as if something is shifting under the surface. This is not confusion, this is alignment. Divine order often arrives as disruption, not to break you, but to break what no longer serves you. In today's teaching, you will understand why this Monday holds a sacred energy. You'll learn why discipline, silence, and inner stillness are not just spiritual practices. They are survival skills in times like these. We'll explore Shaolin principles that few talk about, the kind that monks do not always speak aloud, but live through daily repetition. You will see how divine timing does not shout, it whispers, and how presence is the only way to hear it. The goal is not to prepare for something outside of you, but to awaken the warrior monk within you who already knows how to meet what's coming. Stay until the end, because this may not just shift your Monday, it may redirect your entire path. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If you walk this path of awareness and mastery, I invite you to subscribe and walk with us. The most powerful movements begin in stillness. Before a seed breaks the ground, there is complete silence in the soil. Before the master strikes, the breath is slow, the mind is clear. This is why the mind is the gate, not a gate you push open with effort, but one that opens only in quiet. In the Shaolin way, the first lesson is never about strength. It is about softness, the art of calming the body so the mind can follow. Tension clouds awareness, distraction fractures the present. But when you still the body, you slow the breath. When you slow the breath, you return to the moment. And in the moment, you begin to hear what has always been speaking. God does not speak in chaos. He speaks in clarity, not in the noise of the world, but in the stillness you create within. When the mind is busy chasing, judging, comparing, it becomes like muddy water. You can try to see, but everything is distorted. Shaolin teaches, stop stirring the water, let it settle. The reflection will return on its own. This is not theory, this is a daily practice. Wake up, breathe, move slowly. Do not let the mind sprint into the future before your feet even touch the ground. If something is meant for you, it will only arrive in the now. And if your mind is somewhere else, you will walk past what was sacred. Train your awareness like a monk trains the blade, not to cut the world, but to cut through the noise inside. Stillness is not the absence of life. It is the space where true life begins. True transformation never begins in the world. It begins within the one who is watching it. The more we search for answers in the sky, the more we miss the quiet truth growing beneath our feet. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the path is always inward first. You do not train to control the outside. You train to understand your own nature. It is tempting to wait for signs, some shift in the news, a word from another, a door to open on its own. But the real sign is already here. It is the quiet restlessness in your chest, the subtle call to change, not your surroundings, but your stance within them. This is not a punishment. It is an invitation. The discipline of the monk is not flashy. It is built in silence, step by step, breath by breath. No one sees it, but it shifts everything. That is how true power moves, not by force, but by presence. You can walk through the same world with different eyes, and suddenly the entire landscape changes. This Monday is not waiting for the world to turn. It's waiting for you to see differently, to stop begging the external to shift and instead become the one who no longer needs it to. When the inner world is aligned, the outer world bends without resistance. The Shaolin master does not chase clarity. He creates it, through stillness, through movement, through the daily art of self-awareness. If you are lost, do not look around, look in. That is where the answer has always lived. The deeper you go within, the less you need from what lies outside, and the more the world reflects your inner state, not the other way around. There is no mastery without repetition, no awakening without effort. Divine change is not given freely. It arrives where there is space for it, and space is made through discipline. The world often praises sudden breakthroughs, but in the Shaolin path, we know the truth. Transformation is built in silence, through small sacred acts, done again and again, not to impress others, but to refine the self. Discipline is not about control, it is about devotion. A quiet return every day to the practices that shape your spirit. One breath, one movement, one step taken with full awareness. These may seem ordinary, but in time they become powerful. A monk does not swing the sword once and call himself skilled. He repeats the same motion thousands of times, not to master the sword, but to master the self holding it. This is the energy you are being asked to carry into this week. Not dramatic change, but deliberate consistency. What ritual have you abandoned? What practice once brought you peace but was traded for distraction? The invitation is simple. Return. It might be breathwork, a quiet morning stretch, 10 minutes of silence before the day begins. These are not small things. They are anchors, and every time you show up to them, your spirit grows stronger, even if your mind resists. True discipline is not rigid. It is steady, alive, aware. It adapts without breaking. It shows up even when motivation fades. This is what builds inner strength, not in one moment of glory, but in 100 unseen choices. The one who trains without applause, without reward, is the one who becomes unshakable. That is the way of the Shaolin. That is the path of sacred effort. The one who is present sees what others overlook, while the world rushes forward, seeking answers in noise and speed. The one who is mindful becomes still, and in that stillness receives what rushing minds miss. Mindfulness is not a gentle escape, it is a sharp return. A return to the breath, to the body, to the exact moment where life is actually happening. In the Shaolin tradition, mindfulness is not separate from training, it is the training. The warrior who is not fully present is vulnerable. The mind that wanders is easily broken, but the one who is awake here and now becomes unshakable. There is a quiet strength in awareness. It is not flashy. It does not need to prove itself, but it sees clearly. And through clarity, it makes wise choices. This is why true blessings, opportunities, insights, shifts do not come to those who are constantly distracted. They come to those who are paying attention. Guidance is always present, but you must be still enough to hear it. The whisper of intuition, the subtle pull of right timing, the inner knowing that appears only when the mind is no longer cluttered. These things are not found in chaos. They emerge when silence is honored. Each day, take moments to return, to pause, to breathe with full attention. Even 5 minutes of deep presence can change the quality of an entire day. This is not about escaping life. It is about becoming fully engaged with it. Alertness does not mean tension. It means relaxed awareness, calm yet clear, soft yet steady. When you live this way, life begins to speak to you. And finally, you are ready to listen. Pain is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of attention. When something hurts, it does not mean you are broken. It means something within you is asking to be seen. In Shaolin teaching, suffering is not viewed as punishment. It is a teacher, a messenger from the deeper layers of the self. It arrives not to weaken you, but to reveal where you are still asleep, where you are holding on too tightly, where you are out of alignment with truth. Often, we label our discomfort as a problem and try to escape it, but avoidance only delays the lesson. The wise do not run from pain. They sit with it. They ask it what it wants to say. They listen without fear. This Monday may not feel easy. There may be inner restlessness, tension, even grief. But what if these feelings are not obstacles? What if they are signals, indicators that something old is falling away and something truer is trying to rise? The body tightens to protect, the mind resists to stay safe, but the spirit always seeks growth, and growth often asks for surrender before it gives peace. To walk the Shaolin path is to learn from everything, even suffering. A sore muscle in training reveals imbalance, a heavy heart reveals attachment, a restless mind reveals a lack of stillness. Each is a doorway, not a wall. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, ask, what is this trying to show me? That single shift in question can turn pain into power. The discomfort you feel now is not here to destroy you. It is here to direct you toward awareness, toward strength, toward a deeper mastery of your own path. There is a weight you carry that was never meant to come this far. Thoughts, identities, attachments. These cling to you like old garments, comfortable, familiar, but no longer true. And now, the path ahead asks for lightness. Not because life is easy, but because heaviness cannot rise. To let go is not weakness, it is wisdom. In the Shaolin way, we do not hold what has served its purpose. We bow to it, learn from it, and release it. This is not detachment from life. It is alignment with it. Wu Wei teaches us to move without forcing, to act without grasping. This is the art of effortlessness, not in laziness, but in flow. A leaf does not resist the wind, a river does not argue with the stones, and the spirit when free does not fight what must fall away. Letting go does not mean losing everything. It means no longer gripping what blocks your growth. Fear, old stories, the need to be right, the illusion of control. These are ropes that tie you to a version of yourself that cannot evolve. The ego wants to hold on. It fears change because it thrives on identity. But the spirit moves with trust. It knows that what is meant will stay, and what is ready to leave will bless you by its departure. If transformation is coming, and it is, you must be willing to release the unnecessary. Not all at once, not with violence, but gently, willingly, with reverence. You can be pulled by what you refuse to let go of, or you can rise by surrendering to the deeper rhythm already unfolding within you. One path drains you, the other frees you. The choice is not easy, but it is yours. The path does not wait for certainty. It opens when you begin walking, not with confidence, but with courage, not with all the answers, but with a quiet willingness to meet the unknown. Shaolin teaching reminds us, mastery is not a destination. It is a relationship between your spirit and your discipline, between your intention and your daily actions. And that relationship starts in the moment you stop waiting to feel ready. Perfection is a clever illusion. The mind will always find reasons to delay. Not strong enough, not wise enough, not the right time. But the truth is, readiness is born through movement, through stepping into the space your fear tells you to avoid. Some of the most powerful journeys begin with shaky hands and uncertain steps. The monk does not wait until the body is strong to train. The strength comes through the training. The same is true for you. Action, even if imperfect, is the doorway to growth. This Monday is not asking for your perfection. It's asking for your presence, for your decision to begin. Not because you have everything in order, but because you trust the path will shape you as you go. Every day you delay, the gap between who you are and who you could become grows wider. But when you move even a little, that gap starts to close. You become someone who acts rather than someone who waits. The warrior does not fear the first step. He honors it because he knows that in every beginning lies the seed of transformation. Don't wait for clarity. Begin, and clarity will find you. Silence is not the absence of thought. It is the space where true thought arises. In the noise of the world, it is easy to lose your way. Too many voices, too many opinions, too much movement. But when you turn inward and become still, the path begins to reveal itself. Shaolin tradition teaches that clarity does not come from thinking harder, it comes from listening deeper. And to listen deeply, you must create silence, not just around you, but within you. A silence that is alive, aware, open. When the mind is clouded, everything feels urgent, confused, scattered. But when the inner waters are still, even the smallest insight becomes visible. The answer may have always been there, but it could not reach you through the noise. Stillness is not inaction, it is preparation, a moment of sacred pause that allows you to reconnect with what is real. The breath slows, the body softens, the need to control fades, and in that quiet, something greater can speak. Do not rush the process. Sit with the question. Let it live in your chest without forcing a solution. Sometimes clarity comes, not in words, but in a feeling, a shift in energy, a sudden knowing that needs no explanation. This is how guidance works. Not always loud, not always logical, but always there, waiting in the quiet to be received. You do not summon it with effort. You open to it with presence. Make space in your day, even just for a few minutes, to turn inward, not to escape life, but to see it clearly. Inner silence is not withdrawal. It is preparation for wise action, and from that still center, the world outside begins to align. There comes a point when waiting is no longer enough, when receiving insight is no longer the goal. The real path begins when you stop seeking change and start becoming it. Shaolin masters understand this. They do not spend time predicting the future. They prepare themselves to meet it. The focus is never on what the world will do, but on who they must become to walk through it with strength, grace, and clarity. This Monday is not just another day. It is a threshold, a quiet invitation to shift from passivity to presence, to stop asking for signs and instead become a sign a sign of discipline, of awareness, of awakened living. The teachings you've heard are not ideas to admire. They are energies to embody. Wisdom is not stored in words. It is revealed in how you move, how you choose, how you show up, especially when no one is watching. To become the channel means to make space within, not to force your will, but to allow something greater to move through you. That requires inner stillness, yes, but also strength. The strength to let go of old identities, to hold yourself to a higher standard, to live as if the divine is already working through your hands. This is the deeper meaning of training. Every breath, every ritual, every mindful step becomes a way to shape the vessel, not for perfection, but for alignment. If change is coming, and it always is, you are not here to brace against it. You are here to carry it, to walk into the day, not with hesitation, but with quiet power. Be the calm in the storm, be the grounded one in the noise, be the one who does not wait for light, but becomes it. The shift is already here. Not loud, not sudden, but steady and unmistakable. What you feel stirring inside is not confusion, it's calling. A quiet urging to slow down, to return to what is real, to meet the moment with clarity instead of chaos. This Monday is a doorway, but doorways require a step, a choice, not a perfect one, just a sincere one. You've been reminded to stop searching outward, to make space for stillness, to walk with discipline, and to trust the wisdom that rises when you are fully present. These are not just ideas, they are living practices, meant to be carried into your mornings, your movements, your conversations. Let today be the day you respond, not with fear, not with force, but with peace, awareness, and intention. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this teaching brought you calm or clarity, we invite you to continue the journey. Subscribe to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire, and return whenever your spirit needs quiet strength. Until next time, stay grounded, stay awake, and walk in stillness.